Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger. Janelle's off tonight. We are now less than 24 hours from the start of the second DNC debate. And on that stage will be a new face to many, but to Montanans, he's the governor. However, Steve Bullock will need more than just the newfound spotlight to make an impact. Over the next 2 nights, 20 candidates will be taking each other on, all with hopes of taking on President Trump in 2020. Here's what we can expect from Detroit.
20 Democratic presidential candidates are getting ready to go toe-to-toe with their competitors on live TV. The second round of debates will be broadcast from Detroit on July 30th and 31st. After NBC took some criticism for the split during its debate, CNN took steps to ensure the top, middle, and bottom-tier candidates were equally divided between the 2 nights. Night 1 will include Governor Steve Bullock, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, John Delaney, John Hickenlooper, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Representative Tim Ryan, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and Marianne Williamson. The top-tier candidates Tuesday night are Sanders and Warren, who are effectively tied for second place in the polls. They're also 2 of the most liberal candidates in the race, which could put their progressive policies in a head-to-head matchup. Night 1 will be the first and possibly only debate appearance for Bullock. Montana's governor didn't qualify for the first round on NBC, and the qualification bar for the September debate is higher. Candidates must have 130,000 unique donors and reach 2% in at least 4 polls. Bullock's national polling average is less than 1%. Night 2 includes Senator Michael Bennet, Joe Biden, Senator Cory Booker, Julian Castro, Mayor Bill de Blasio, Representative Tulsi Gabbard, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Senator Kamala Harris, Governor Jay Inslee, and Andrew Yang. Biden is still the clear frontrunner in the polls, and he headlines Wednesday night along with Harris. Race was the key issue that pitted those 2 against each other during their first debate matchup, and it could become an issue again. Night 2's presidential contenders are notably more diverse than Night 1's. Beyond race issues, the issue of criminal justice reform could spark some fireworks. Booker has made that a central issue in his campaign, and he's openly criticized the former vice president, calling Biden the architect of mass incarceration. Biden's team is already on the defense, calling out some of the local policies Booker had in place while he was mayor of Newark. With 10 candidates on stage each night, it's expected that there will be some jockeying for additional mic time. But CNN said any candidate who repeatedly interrupts others will have his or her time reduced.
And today, Governor Bullock sat down with MTN to talk about how he's prepared for the stage tomorrow and how it's the people he's met along the way who've helped shape his campaign.
At one of the meet and greets when a retired teacher said, out of that first debate, I didn't hear anybody providing my voice. Her voice was someone who looks at economically, you know, there's a whole, like over 40% of the country wouldn't have $400 in their pocket in case of emergency. Her voice was wanting to have someone that can kind of connect with the challenges of everyday people.
Well, Bullock will have to do well, otherwise it'll be much more difficult to qualify for the next debate, which will take place in September. That debate tomorrow night begins at 6 p.m. Montana time. There are a lot of questions about the shooting at a popular food festival in Northern California last night. Among those killed in the town of Gilroy is a 6-year-old boy. Meanwhile, reports say Instagram posts from the same name as the suspected gunman mention a white supremacist book. Chris Welch is tracking what we know about the investigation.
What should have been a fun-filled day at the town's annual Garlic Festival ending like this. Families, many with young children, running for their lives amidst a stream of gunshots.
I thought I was gonna die.
After a few seconds, there were so many shots, and I saw people falling down, kids falling down.
The shooting turning deadly. Victims include a 13-year-old girl, a man in his 20s, and this 6-year-old boy. His grandmother just wants to know why.
This is really hard. There's no words to describe because he was such a happy kid. You know, I don't think that this is fair.
Officials say the suspect was armed with an AK-47 style rifle. The gunfire lasted only about 60 seconds. They credit a large police presence at the festival for taking swift action.
Despite the fact that they were outgunned with their handguns against a rifle, Those 3 officers were able to fatally wound that suspect, and the event ended very quickly.
That suspect, they say, used a tool to cut through fencing to gain access to the festival. They also say a possible second suspect is being sought, but it's unclear what role that person may have played. Today in the Rose Garden, President Trump offering condolences and calling the shooter a wicked murderer.
We express our deepest sadness and sorrow for the families who lost a precious loved one in the horrific shooting last night in Gilroy, California.
The festival's organizer putting it this way.
Seeing this event end this way, this day, is just one of the most tragic and sad things that I've ever had to see.
I'm Chris Welch reporting.
Well, a sad ending to the search for a 2-year-old boy whose parents were killed in a murder-suicide in the Flathead. Aiden Salcido had been missing for nearly 4 days. On Sunday, a body, which authorities believe to be Aiden's, was found near a Lincoln County campground where witnesses last saw him along with his parents. Now, Hannah Janiak and Daniel Salcido, the parents, were found dead in a vehicle on Wednesday after a police chase on Highway 93 in Kalispell. Medford, Oregon investigators say the family was reported missing in mid-June. Police say they have a record of the family buying camping equipment at a Walmart in Medford in early June. The next trace of the couple came on Wednesday night in the Flathead when the pair took off after a traffic stop by Kalispell police. It was after police found the parents dead in apparent murder-suicide that authorities noticed the child was not with them. Authorities have been searching for the boy since. An autopsy is scheduled for this week to determine the cause of death. Well, new details from documents show the Montana Attorney General's office was investigating a former Miles City athletic trainer 17 years ago, but agents never charged him. 79-year-old James Jensen is set to be sentenced in Billings tomorrow for coercion. He's named in a massive sexual abuse civil case where 32 plaintiffs said Jensen used his position of power to sexually assault hundreds of male student athletes over decades. Jensen's federal defense lawyer says his client confessed back in 2002, but charges were never filed because agents said they didn't have enough evidence. Jensen is in the Yellowstone County Detention Center tonight. As of this morning, the North Hills fire had burned more than 4,200 acres. That fire is threatening hundreds of homes in the North Helena Valley. Tonight, evacuations issued over the weekend do remain in place. Crews continue to pour into that area in an effort to save those homes and prevent the fire's spread. Some 140 personnel are on that fire, which is still 0% contained at last report. And turning to weather, Bob, western Montana struggling with fires. How's our side of the state looking so
Well,
far?
it's not looking too bad. We're kind of dry at the moment, but we've had actually a lot more moisture in eastern Montana than what they've had in western Montana. But let me show you what we have going for us right now. On our threat board, you can see we do have a couple of red flag warnings. One of them, the red flag warning, is until midnight tonight, and that does include the Helena Valley from Great Falls all the way down to Bozeman. Dry thunderstorms could cause some more fires to develop in that area. And also along the High Line, looking for a high winds and low humidity tomorrow. That could cause some more red flag warning and some more fires from noon until 9 p.m. Also, take a look at this. If you're worried about being a little close to the fire, here's some wildfire safety tips we wanted to remind you about. Make sure that you close all the entrances to your home, windows, doors, garage doors. Also, make sure you have plenty of tools, water accessible, and wet down the roof of your house. Turn off the residential fuel like natural gas or propane, and keep all the vegetation wet and trimmed away from your house. That'll do wonders if the fire gets pretty close to you. Anyway, we'll have your forecast coming up in a few more minutes. Russ?
All right, thank you, Bob. Capital One says a hacker gained access to more than 100 million customer accounts and credit card applications earlier this year. The company said no credit card account numbers or login credentials were compromised. Capital One says it fixed the vulnerability exploited in that breach and that it's unlikely the data was used for fraud or disseminated, but it is still investigating, and it will notify people affected by the breach and provide free credit monitoring and identity protection. The Justice Department says 33-year-old Paige Thompson, a former tech company software engineer, has been arrested for that breach. It is the beginning of a new era at Metro Park. This afternoon, signs bearing the name of the arena's new title sponsor, First Interstate Bank, were hung up on the building. First Interstate was chosen as the title sponsor back in June. Metro Park Director of Marketing Ray Massey says they hope to have those new signs up in time for the Montana Fair, and crews are on track to have that project completed by the end of this week. First Interstate President Kevin Riley says that Metro Park is a huge economic driver for Billings.
it's good for the Billings residents to participate in events at the Metro. It brings in people from South Dakota and Wyoming and other cities, so that's what really helps the economic vitality of Billings, is bringing all these other individuals in for shows and the PBR and various other events at the Metro.
First Interstate bought the naming rights for $875,000 over 5 years. The countdown to commission is inching closer to closing. The USS Billings has arrived in Key West, Florida. Now this week also marking the start of USS Billings Week there in Key West, and Q2 will be at the ship's commissioning starting this Thursday and up through the official ceremony on Saturday, right down to the smashing of the bottle following Navy tradition. Stay tuned for all those details as we make our way down to Florida. Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, your blood donation can help tip the scales toward survival for emergency patients, and hospitals are asking for your help. Plus, this happy hour may not come with beer, but it means the chance for a forever home for a dog in need. And later in sports, Scott shows us if the Billings Royals and the Laurel Dodgers will play for their respective state championships.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.